Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, faculty member, epidemiologist, biostatistician. In this video, what I want to be going over is a reference citation manager. We talk about reference styles, we talk about citation guides. Very few of us talk about the actual technology that goes behind citation management. And me, personally, I'm all about technology. And so if you haven't seen any of my other videos, then I encourage you to go through them. Anyway, I'm going to be going over Endnote here, just briefly here, just to let you know that it does exist. There's actually somewhat of a subscription fee, I believe, if you want features beyond ones that are minimally available. So I've used this before, so I'm going to show you a list of references that I collected from a while back, not necessarily something that's current. So here's the tabs on the top. There's my references. Here I'll show you the year that this was last updated. And these are all articles that I collected. Actually, the first one is one that I wrote myself, along with others, and then others that I collected along the way. So I can do a lot of things with this list. This is a neat little tool that you can take and then download. And that's kind of the power of all of this, is that you can take and download these collections. So there's a download windows. There's also a cite while you write tool. So the reason reference citation managers are many times actually preferable to using manual references of manual methods of reference is that reference citation managers allow you to shift between one type of reference to another. Why is that even important? Well, it may be important for you to kind of you go to one journal, and say you go to JAMA, and you have your references in the American Medical Association. They say this is not good enough for our journal, and so you go to another journal, and they say your references now need to be in APA. Well, guess how many times and how much time I have spent manually changing references over from one type to another. Sometimes it's just changing a comma over from one place to another. Sometimes it's whole sections that are different years are placed in a different area. That's a difference between AMA and APA. So just thinking about why use Reference Citation Manager? Well, it's plain and simple. It saves a bunch of time, and it's much less headache than manually doing things. Trust me when I say this. Start doing this. I convinced a lot of people of this, and I think it's worth exploring. Now, I would like to say that this is not the only reference manager. There's also there's also Zotero, which is an important one, which is one I actually use more frequently. But this one I use when I do collaborative work with the NIH. But also there's Mendeley. So you have this capture reference tool which you can install and capture reference, and you can find out more and try it yourself here. This Endnote click. and you can add it to Chrome for free. And so you basically access the research papers and save the full text just like that. And the button is right there. Um, and so these are really nice features. And so I'm not necessarily promoting one or the other. These are features that you can actually find in Zotero. I know personally, and perhaps in the others as well. Um, Now, when you what becomes tricky, of course, is when you're transferring data sets. So when you collect the references, um, and you want to select, I don't know, you want to select PubMed Connect, and maybe you're looking for all the articles that I wrote. And so this might take a while. I'm not even sure um, it will yield any results to begin with. And it doesn't seem like it's going to yield results. So instead, we can try to choose to import. Um, and so there's import options, and um, you can import, do an Endnote import or using PubMed, and um, select all of that. So there's ways that you can transfer files, and I'm not gonna really go over through everything in that much detail, but just know that this is out there. There's a lot of good products in here, and also there's some features that might be interesting and relevant where they match the manuscript that you have to potential journals. Although I have seen a more um, uh, systematic approach to work rather than an automated approach. Um, One last place that I did want to go to is my research assistant. Some of these are actually pretty useful because they can give you some features that you may otherwise not have. And this is one app that I would recommend due to the fact that a lot of this is current research that is going on, and that can allow you to understand what is most current in your field, and stay up to date about it. It's really important to stay current, and of course, EndNote is a very um, powerful and reliable source as well. Um, and then there's Web of Science. But the main focus of this lecture was to take a look at um, how best to use reference citation. Managers, especially the feature of Endnote, and I don't necessarily recommend going out and buying any of these, looking at instead comparing what EndNote can do versus Otero versus Mendeley, and seeing what your best options are in what situation. Thank you for listening.